John Gill, Exposition of the Bible, Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, that is, in the days before the sons of God took the daughters of men for wives, in such a general number as before declared, and before the dissension and apostasy became so universal, even in the times of Jared, as the Arabic writers understand it, who say that these giants were begotten on the daughters of Cain by the children of Seth, who went down from the mountain to them in the days of Jared, that's Jared. See Genesis 5:20. The word Nephim, that's Nephim, that's Nephilim, comes from a word which signifies to fall, and these might be so called, either because they made their fear to fall upon men, or men through fear to fall before them, because of their height and strength, or rather because they fell and rushed on men with great violency and oppressed them in a cruel and tyrannical manner, or as some think, because they fell and were apostatized from the true religion, which is much better than to understand them of apostate angels, whom the Targum of Jonathan mentions by name and calls them Schanchazai and Azel, who fell from heaven and were in the earth in those days. And also after that, which shows that the preceding clause respects giants in former times, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, came into their houses and chambers and laid with them, and they bare children unto them, or giants unto them, as may be supplied from the former clause. For the sense is, as there were giants before this general defection, so there were at this time, when there was a mixture of the Canaanites and the Sethites, which were the offspring of the sons of God, or the prosperity of Seth, mixing with the daughters of men, or the prosperity of Cain. For this is not to be understood after the flood, as Ben Ezra, Ben Melech, and so they are described in the following words. The same became mighty men, for tallness and strength, for power and dominion, for tyranny and oppression, which were of old, like those that were of old before, or who in after times were spoken of as in the days of old, men of renown, or of name, whose names were often made mention of, both for their size and their wickedness. They were much talked of and extolled for their exploits, and even wicked ones. They were famous men, or rather infamous, for some men get a name in the world, not for their goodness, but for their greatness, and sometimes for their great wickedness, which sense is countenanced by what follows, that there were giants in these early times is confirmed by the testimony of many heathen writers, such as the Titans that made war against Saturn, begotten by Uranus, who were not only bulky bodies, but invincible strength, as Apollodorus relates, and Berosus, that's Berosus, speaks of a city about Lebanon called Enos, which was a city of giants who were men of vast bodies and of great strengths, inventors of arms and music, were cannibals and exceedingly debauched.